Can you remember what we did last week? Type it in the chat and let me know how was the homework. We did some equations, right? We did some equations with letters on both sides. We did algebra last week, all right? So let's do a quick recap question. All right, so quick recap of some algebra from last week. And in particular, we're looking at equations. All right. All right, I've got 16x minus 30 equals 14x plus 40. Can you find or solve for x? Solve for x, meaning find the value of x using your knowledge of equations. Give it a go. Press pause, try it. When you're done, press play. Let's go through it now. So remember, when you have an equation, remember you got to bring all the x values onto one side. So let's say I take all the x values and I bring it all onto the left-hand side. Okay. The 16x is already there, so I can just rewrite it. But the 14x, when I change sides, remember I have to change the sign. If I have no sign in front, then that sign is a plus. And when I change it over, it becomes a minus. So what does it mean when I change sides, I'm actually moving the entire 14x to the left-hand side. Remember, there's another way to look at this. I could minus 14x on both sides. And that's also a possibility. All right. So let's say I did the first and I brought these two all the way onto the left-hand side. So I got 16x minus 14x, like that. And that's equal to, and on the right-hand side, I got 30 plus 40. Okay? So 16x minus 14x comes to 2x. And on the right-hand side, 30 plus 40 comes to 70. Now remember, negative 30 moved as well. Change sides, change signs, and it became positive 30. All right. So we got negative 30 on the left-hand side, which changes into positive 30 on the right-hand side. And we've got 14x, which changes to negative 14x on the left-hand side. And then I just simply bring those two down. 30 plus 40 is now 70. We then divide both sides by 2. And when we divide the left-hand side by 2, it cancels out. And we're left with x equals 70 divided by 2. And 70 divided by 2 is 35. So well done if you got this answer correct. X equals 35. Let's look at another one now. Suppose you're given 3 bracket x plus 4 is equal to 15. Solve for x. Press pause. When you're done, press play. Let's go through this one now. There's two ways to solve this question. The first way, you could multiply the 3 into the bracket. And you'll get 3x plus 12 equals 15, because 3 times x gets you 3x, and 3 times 4 gets you 12. And once you have it like this, remember, bring all the numbers with x onto the left-hand side, all the numbers without x onto the right-hand side. If I move this 12 over, it'll become negative 12. Change sides, change signs. on the other side of the equal sign. I'm just going to move the equal sign slightly to the left and move the 12 in over there. Now moved over and changed its sign into -12. This has no sign in front of it, so it's a plus 15. 3x is already on the left hand side, so I simply have to rewrite that one. -12 plus 15 is 3. I then divide both sides by 3, and I get x equal to 1. The second way of doing this is if I divide both sides by 3 first. Because remember, 3 is multiplying by the bracket x plus 4. And what you do to the left-hand side, you have to do to the right-hand side. So if I divide by 3 on both sides, it will remove the 3, getting me closer to the x. And I can then remove the brackets. 15 divided by 3 is 5. The next thing I can do is move the 4, change sides, change signs, or -4 on both sides. There's two ways of looking at it. You're either thinking about moving it over, making it -4, or you're subtracting 4 from both sides, in which case it will still disappear. And you'll be left with 5 minus 4, and that's equal to 1. There's two ways of solving that question. The next one involves two brackets. If I've got 3x plus 13 equals 10, x minus 1. Solve for x. Press pause, give it a go, press play when you're done. Remember, once you get your answer, you can easily check if it's correct. Let's suppose I get the answer 5, for example. Let's say x is equal to 5, and I want to check if it's correct. Is it correct? I'm not sure. So let's substitute x as 5 on both sides. Five plus 13 is 18. And remember, that is multiply. 3 times 18 is 54. 5 minus 1 is 4. And 10 times 4 is 40. So 54 is not equal to 40. So 5 is the wrong answer. And that's how you check. When you get your answer, you can check if you're right by substituting it in to see if the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. Press pause. When you're done, press play. All right, let's go through it. So the first thing I'm going to do here is multiply the brackets out. The reason I won't divide both sides by 3, for example, 10 can't go into 3 very nicely. I'm going to end up with an odd fraction to cancel out. If I divide by 10 on both sides as well, it might cancel on the right-hand side, but then I'll be left with a fraction that can't simplify. The best option here would be to multiply the 3 by the x in the 13 and the 10 by x in -1. That gets me 3x plus 39 and 10x minus 10 on the right hand side. Now remember to get all the x values to the left. So I'm going to move the 10 over now and become minus 10x. The 3x, I'm simply bringing it down. The equal sign remains there. And now I'm going to move all the numbers onto the right hand side. The 10 is already there, so I'm just going to write it again with the correct sign, which is negative. But this sign, however, needs to change because I'm moving it. Whenever I move it, I change it into its opposite, from plus to minus. On the left-hand side, I've got 3x minus 10x, which is -7x. And on the right hand side, I've got negative 39 minus 10. Using integers, it becomes a bigger negative, negative 49. Now I divide both sides by whatever's in front of x, because I want to get x alone, because I want to solve for x. Now that I'm almost there, I can divide both sides by negative 7. But I have to remember that negative divided by negative is a positive. So therefore, x will equal 49 divided by 7. And if you know your 7 times table, 7 times 7 is 49. So 49 divided by 7 means the answer is 7. I can check my answer as well to see if it's correct. If I put 7 over here, I'll get 20. And 20 times 3 is 60. I can put 7 over here as well. And I'll get 6 times 10, which is 60. All right.